We all know Anthony Joshua as a big, humble, friendly giant. He often pays a lot of respect to his opponents in the build-ups to his fights, and his post-fight interviews normally follow suit.
So we're on the rise right now, and just a good entrance to the professional game.
A long, hard journey ahead, but you believe you can go all the way, don't you?
I'm not saying anything just yet.
I can't help notice there seems to be a darker side emerging from the 250-pound muscle-bound wrecking machine.
I'm serious about what I do. And as I said, I'm not into the business of ducking no one. The man who talks less is the man you need to be worried about.
Over the last few days, I've gone back and rewatched all the old interviews and fights of AJ so far, and gathered an interesting collection of the times the Beast has failed to contain his anger.
Like, I'm a beast now. Don't regard me as a fighter I was 7, 8 years ago. Because if you dumb and knock your head off.
Are you too nice to be a boxer?
You know what the thing is, Lee? You asked me that question a minute ago. And I'm not even messing about right now, and I know people are in, but I'm going to tell you about myself. Just don't ask me that question. Me and you ever do an interview again, don't bother asking me about that question because it's doing my head in.
First up, we have Joshua's interview for the Sun News website back in May of 2015. Joshua's seemingly out-of-character outburst was later revealed as a quote-unquote prank on Joshua's behalf. But just bear in mind, the interviewer really doesn't know he's joking.
You're lucky I got these gloves on.
Am I?
You're seriously lucky I got these gloves because it's me off these questions about am I too nice. You're in my domain now. You're in the lion's den with me. Ask me that question again if you think I'm too nice. You think I'm messing about. Ask me that question again. Because Andy, I spoke to you about this as well. About people asking me these silly questions about am I too nice. Does it look like I'm messing about you?
No, it doesn't look like.
Does it look like I'm messing about you?
No.
Have a word with him because I'm not joking with this geezer, you know. Doing my head in, people thinking that I'm too nice.
This type of supposed prank doesn't seem like a very friendly thing to do to a guy clearly weighing less than 100 pounds your minimum. And if I'm being completely honest, the question, are you too nice to be a boxer, seems to rattle him a bit, and perhaps he later turned his genuine anger into a bit of a joke. Either way, I think it shows that if you push the right buttons, you will get a response.
I don't know how to get out of the ring. I don't know what to do. I feel a bit like crying. You should go into act. That was pretty convincing. I thought I knew it was a joke.
Anthony Joshua's ring walks of recent have certainly taken a different direction from the man that used to stomp to the ring back in his first few fights. We are getting used to the long robes, smiley faces, and awesome lights and fire effects blending with the music. But here are my top picks for his most intimidating ones.
Inside 2 rounds, he's closely scrutinized. Everything he does inside the ring and outside the ring is closely observed. There's a real feeling that he is a serious contender for major honors on the heavyweight stage, and so far he's done everything that's asked of him. Still improving, Jim, obviously, but so much to get excited about.
Yeah, early days, of course it is, but this is the first time that Anthony is going to face an opponent who has a reputation.
Joshua did a very interesting interview for Cook and Cassius of IFL TV's YouTube. Big shout out to those guys. The interview consisted of AJ giving his personal opinion on his top 5 greatest heavyweights. I won't spoil it for you, as you might want to watch it at a later date, but overall, he nice and calmly talks about the first 3 guys until he gets to his number 2 slot, Iron Mike.
Number 2.
Number 2 is going to be the Iron Man. The man that I would love to have read comic books about when I was a kid. Iron Mike Tyson. The Beast. The man with a 19-inch neck. The man with quads that made people say, don't skip leg day. The man with a chest that made you have to get your suits tailored. The Beast that will knock you out of a left or a right. You know what I mean? Iron Mike Tyson is definitely in my top 5.
I mention this because I could see how Anthony Joshua imitated Iron Mike in some of those early fights, and it's something I'd love to see him do more of in the near future.
Well, listen, he's the king now.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He's the king, he's the big man now on campus. I don't care who's out now, the little guys making he's the big man on campus.
Yeah.
Because the heavyweight champion's the man, especially with a guy like that that's knocking guys out big. And he looks like the heavyweight champ.
For all you guys that are active on Twitter, I'm sure you're struggling to get away from all the beef and shots being fired from boxers worldwide. But very rarely do we see Anthony get involved, regardless of how many times Tyson Fury calls him out for being a weightlifter or a big stiff idiot.
And I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
But out of nowhere this week, AJ must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed, as he sent out 3 pretty aggressive tweets to champions Joseph Parker and Deontay Wilder, with the final tweet sent to former unified champion Tyson Fury. The Fury tweet got the most retweets, and it's pretty easy to see why.
I could do an impression of him, like, he's like, Femi, you big stiff idiot. You can't fight. I'm gonna knock you out. He's a real character.
Deal with it properly. That's what I said, don't build yourself up and hype yourself up, because you're already in a deep hole.
It's no building it up.
I told you, you're already in a deep hole.
Let you know.
So don't dig your hole deep.
Dig a hole as deep as you want it to be, man. Come June 25th.
That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna be in some trouble.
This is what I'm saying.
You're
already in a deep hole.
The ring of that belt,
build yourself up.
Man, what did I get myself into? Why has he hit me so hard? Is there 2 or 3 of them in the ring with me?
When Anthony Joshua made his first title defense back in June 2016, opponent Dominic Breazeale seemed like a pretty grounded and respectable challenger. But something must have ticked AJ off during the early stages of the build-up, because he laid into the American challenger pretty hard from the get-go.
A serious situation, so he has potential, but I have to put an end to his dreams. As I said, I'm the dream catcher, I'm the dream crusher, and I have to make sure that I maintain and just do what I'm here to do, and that's put on a show and keep this belt in the UK.
You got everything to lose.
No pressure.
You got everything to lose, and I got everything to win.
Well, I told you, this stuff and all of that stuff is irrelevant now. It's just me and you when we get in the ring. Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Bitter silence, just me and you exchanging leather, and it's trouble.
Good.
You got some.
Don't talk and don't back up like the rest of the American competition.
We'll see. I'm hoping Anthony Joshua's preparing to be in a war and a dogfight, because that's what I'm going to bring.
I want to see someone get knocked out. I'm here to please, man. I'll do my duty. It's not about the belt. I told you, don't stand there like you're going to do something to me. I don't care about the belt. Man to man, show some respect. Stand in front of me like you're going to do me something. You're not about that life. You're not about that life.
AJ later went on to punish Breazeale in pretty brutal fashion.
That's what he gets in return. A 3-punch combination upstairs that rocks the head back. And Joshua goes to the
What I've presented to you so far is reserved from how dark Joshua gets in the ring itself. From about 4 or 5 fights in, AJ really started to enjoy the battles rather than looking a little struck by the nerves. But when we say enjoy, I mean he really enjoyed it.
Talent in the heavyweight division.
Oh, look at that counter right hand as well. He loved it. Backtoff didn't. He's taken it though, but Joshua smiling again. Sharp, nasty little short inside left hand there as well. Backtoff with another left hand. Caught.
The numerous tongue pokes and taunts have come at a rather unusual time during the fights. Usually, a fighter that's outwitting and embarrassing their opponent on the back foot with defensive skills is more likely to taunt. But AJ, in dominant male fashion, taunts his opponents when they appear to be hurt or struggling to recover from a counterpunch. Check it out.
Go off here. And again a wobble. Again it was the left. Then a right comes through. Joshua sticks his tongue out at White. White in survival mode here already. The legs don't look good at all. And Joshua just grins at him. And White is starting to come apart here already. Tag him back. But again, just too sharp and too powerful from Joshua, who's slicing him to ribbons here. And Ian John Lewis might have a job to do, because Backtoff is so brave, he's standing up to this, but he is getting pounded, and Ian John Lewis did absolutely the right thing, because Backtoff, he's letting go on. Well, I thought he was stopping it.
He should be,
and he will, and he has. And that's what he gets in return, a 3-punch combination upstairs that rocks the head back. And Joshua goes to the ground.
By far, the darkest side I've seen from Anthony Joshua was in an interview for IFL TV in late 2014. The interview started out pretty cool and calm as AJ talked about his experience training at the Klitschko camp. But once the interviewer brought up the prospect of fighting longtime rival Dillian Whyte, the mood quickly changed.
Because currently he stands at 1-0 over you, am I correct in saying that?
Nah, in what way?
As in he was beating you before in the amateurs?
Listen, I don't really care about that. Honestly, man, like, come on, man, I was like 18 years old. Like, I'm a beast now, you know. So I don't want to start blowing my own trumpet, but
don't regard me as a fighter I was 7, 8 years ago. Because if you're dumb and knock your f***ing head off. That's what I can really say in the situation. So I don't really count that as a loss. I count that as a great experience that built me into the man I am now.
AJ has never liked White, to be honest. Their gloves are off episode was ridiculously heated, and when Joshua got a hold of him in the ring, he ended him with the most brutal knockout to date.
Incredible that White is still there. Joshua not letting him off the hook. Howard Foster having a close look now.
And as long as White returns fire once in a while,
which he is doing, but look at the legs. There's a grin from White, but the legs are betraying him, and down he goes.
He's hurt. The way he went down.
Surely no way up here for Dylan White. It's stopped. It's over.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these types of videos where I break down the dark side of a fighter, please hit the like button and I'll be sure to do more of these for your favorite fighters down the line. Until next time, fight fans, this is Boxing Legends TV, signing off.